Hey guys, we're back with the notes for 12.3. Today we're going to be factoring with reverse FOIL. So we are going to be kind of going through the T-charts, looking for what multiplies to make the N number, your C, and it has to add up to make the middle number, which is your B. So in order to do that, you're going to have 4 steps. First step is going to be to check and make sure everything's in the right order. Second step is going to be to build a T-chart. Make sure we are using our negatives. It's not a GCF. We are going to try to find the pair that adds up to equal the middle number. That's your B. And then we're just going to quick double check our signs, make sure that everything is working, and that's our final answer. We're going to put them in parentheses as a binomial. Okay, so we're going backwards today. Let's go ahead and start with problem 1. I'm going to talk through it. Okay, first thing, I'm going to take my last number C and put him on top of the parentheses. On top of the T-chart. I'm going to list out my whole set of factor pairs. So 1 and 3, same numbers, same order, opposite signs. So -1, -3. 2 doesn't go into 3, so my tree is done. I'm going to write down the 4, the number that came out of the middle. That's the number that's going in my box. We need a +4 or a +4. Which one of my pairs adds up to make 4? Well, 1 plus 3 makes 4. That's the one that works. So if they're both positive, then I'm going to take my numbers, the ones that I have here, and I'm going to move them into my parentheses, x plus 1 and then x plus 3. They were both positive. Okay? All right, once you have that written down, I'm going to give you a second to set up the rest of the page like that. So make sure you have a long space for your T-chart. Make sure you have space in a box, and make sure you have space at the very, very bottom to do your double parentheses. Okay, set it up like this, and then we'll get started. Wonderful. Okay, so problem number 2. First thing, I'm going to put that 8 on the top of my T-chart. I won't highlight all of them, but we're going to put a +8 up here, listing out all my pairs, 1 and 8. 1 and 8 with negative, so -1, -8. 2 and 4, -2, -4. 3 doesn't go into 8, so we're done here. I'm going to take that middle number, it's a +6, and I'm going to put that inside of my box. So out of all of my pairs, which would add up to make 6? This guy. 2 plus 4 makes 6. Both of those numbers are positive, so we're going to say x plus 2 and then x plus 4. If they were negative, we would use minuses, but they right now match. Okay, let's try number 3. Problem number 3, first things first, I'm going to put my last number on top of my T. It's a +6, so we need the signs to be the same. 1 and 6, -1, -6. 2 and 3, -2, -3. That's my whole list, so I'm done with my T-chart. My next step is going to be to move into the box. We're taking the middle number, making a -5. We need a pair of numbers that adds up to a -5, okay? It's definitely not going to be my positive numbers. So the question is, would -1 plus a -6 work? Or does it need to be -2 plus a -3? That's the pair that's going to work, okay? -2 plus a -3, or -2 minus 3, you could say. Since they're negatives, we're going to say x with a -2 and x with a -3. You're always going to start the parentheses with the x, though. The numbers are just coming off your T-chart, okay? All right, I'm going to stop highlighting. Make sure you have everything 1 to 3. Let's go ahead and jump down to number 4. Okay, number 4, the number going on the top of my T-chart is the end, so -9. It's a negative, so signs are different. 1, -9, -1, +9. 2 doesn't work. 3 and -3, I actually don't have to switch these because -3, +3 is already the answer we have, okay? The interesting problem that goes on this one, though, is that there's no middle number. So when there is no middle number, you are trying to add up to a 0x. What's the only way we could add up numbers to a 0? They would have to cancel. So we're going to say x with a +3 and x with a -3. That's a difference of squares. They would cancel out. Okay? Let's try number 5. Number going on top is a +12. Signs are the same because we're trying to make a positive. So 1 and 12, negative 1, negative 12. 2 and 6, negative 2, negative 6. 3 and 4, negative 3, negative 4. It might be easier for you to watch me make the T so you know how many numbers are on it, and then you can copy it, okay? All right, our middle number is this guy right here. We have a negative x. That means it's a negative 1. We need a pair of numbers that's going to add up to a negative 1. Okay, so if I look at that, 12 and 1, it's not going to be a positive pair. It's not going to be any of these negatives. So if I look at this negative 1 and negative 12, that makes negative 13. Negative 2, negative 6 makes a negative 8. Negative 3, negative 4 makes negative 7. So if none of those work, here's what we're going to write. I'm going to scratch off these parentheses and I'm going to write this word again, prime. I cannot break this apart with multiplication. That answer is prime. Okay? If it was a negative 12, we could work it out. But in this case, it's not going to be. Let's go ahead and try number 6. Excuse me. All right, we're going to put that 25 on the top of my T and start listing them out. 1 and 25, signs are the same. Negative 1, negative 25. 5 and 5, signs are the same, so negative 5, negative 5. We are trying to make a negative 10 right here, so I'm going to put it in the box. Which pair adds up to make a negative 10? We need the negative 5s. So x minus 5, x minus 5. We are not going to be moving into a box at all on anything for this assignment. Okay, so everything is coming straight off of your T-chart. I'm going to zoom out. If you missed anything for 4, 5, 6, write it down. And we're going to go on to number 7. Number 7, I'm going to put a negative 24 on the top. Signs are different. There's going to be a lot on this one, so maybe let me write it first and then you can make it fit. All right, so 1 and negative 24, negative 1, 24. 2 and negative 12, negative 2, positive 12. 3, negative 8, negative 3, positive 8. Last pair, 4 and negative 6, negative 4, positive 6. Okay, if you ever run out of room, maybe you needed to just make another T-chart, you can totally do that again and just make it over here if you need to. Okay? All right, out of all of those pairs, I need the one that adds up to 5. Okay? So if I look at that 1 minus 24, no, that's not going to work. 2 minus 12, that will give a negative 10. Okay, so we don't want 10s. 3 and a negative 8, so 3 plus negative 8 would give negative 5. That's close. Negative 3 plus 8 would give a positive 5. So we want this pair. We want the 3 to be negative, so x minus 3, and the 8 to be positive, x plus 8. Okay, we're done with number 7. Let's try number 8. Number 8 is going to have a lot of numbers also, so maybe let me write it first. We're going to put negative 63 on top, and we're going 1, negative 63. The signs are different. Negative 163. 2 doesn't work. 3, negative 21, negative 3, 21. 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, and 6 doesn't work. But 7 times a negative 9, negative 7 times a positive 9. So we have 6 pairs. 8 does not go into 63. All right, so out of all of those pairs, we're trying to add up to make that negative 2 in the middle. If I'm looking for that, they need to be close together. 7 plus a negative 9 or negative 7 plus 9. Well, the bottom one gives me a positive 2, and we want a negative 2. So it's going to be this answer right here. X with a plus 7 and x with a minus 9. Okay. All right, 7 and 8 are up there. If you missed anything, copy it down. And we got one left. Let's go ahead and hit number 9. All right, we're going to put that negative 49 on the top. Remember that there are no x's. If there's no middle number, that means you're trying to add up to a 0, okay? All right, so let's start it out. 1 and negative 49, negative 1 and 49. You should be testing, does 2 work? Does 3 work? Does 4 work? 5 work? 6 work? No, none of those go into 49. The only thing that works is a 7. 7 with a negative 7. So if I look at this problem, I need the ones that cancel. We're going to go x with a positive 7 and x with a negative 7. That is the end of your notes. I'm going to zoom out in case you missed anything. Go ahead and copy it down. Otherwise, we are done with 12.3. Go ahead and get started on the practice.